Howdy, folks. This is the Overtime Drive SEC Unfiltered SEC Football Show, the best SEC football show on the internet. Thursday edition. Typically Wednesday nights, we are coming to you previewing the upcoming weekend ahead. Obviously, things getting a little crazy for yours truly and for Cole the Bear Thompson in the midweek. So we have slid to this Thursday morning, October the 16th. But we are ecstatic to be here with you. We have got a jam-packed Week 8 on deck. We're talking best bets. We're talking preview. We're talking our predictions and putting a final bow on things before we really dive into the weekend and get into it. Again, we're excited to have you all here with us, taking your questions and your comments as well. Once again, I'm Chris Phillips. He's Cole the Bear Thompson. Guys, before we get going, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We are on the race to 30,000 subscribers. We can't do it without your love and support. Also, make sure you check out our friends over at FanDuel because, as always, we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel, FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/SECU to get in on the action today. I'm Chris Phillips. He's Cole the Bear Thompson. This is the Overtime Drive, week number 8 edition. We're locking in our best bets. We're previewing the full week 8 slate. And, of course, we're locking in our predictions and our picks for each and every single game. Guys, nobody's got a bye week this week. Everyone is in action. We got 8 games, 8 conference games. This is what we all dreamed of before the season got going. We were thinking about the college football slate, a full day from start to finish of conference games on separation Saturdays, on contenders and pretenders, and you name it. We got everything you could ask for in this slate. Once again, I am Chris Phillips. Joining me to help me break it all down, my partner in crime, Cole the Bear Thompson. Bear, what's going on, my friend? Appreciate you taking the time. Really excited to chat with you, chat with our audience, and dive into week number 8.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm the reason why we're doing a Thursday show and not a Wednesday night show. I got a busy week because I got to fill in on the morning show up here in Houston. So it's been a lot of fun. Here's the funny thing. I would like to give a major shout out and a PSA and a call to action to everybody else. One Marcus Brooks was a man of his word and got me a Texas A&M mini helmet to add to the collection. So we are a quarter of the way done when it comes to our helmet selection. Marcus, can't appreciate you enough, man. It's sitting dead center for next Sunday Funday video. You're going to see it in action. But this is where I call on you guys. I have an Alabama helmet. I have a Texas helmet. I have an Oklahoma helmet. And I have a Texas A&M helmet. My MIZ faithful, where we at with my mini helmet. My South Carolina folks, where we at with the mini helmet. My Ole Miss people, I decided to ride hotty toddy this weekend. In reward, we're going to get an Ole Miss helmet out of the mix. The powder blue would be specifically one, but I'm not a judgmental person. You give me a helmet, it's going to be on the display. Just call or reach out to me at Mr. Cole Thompson on Twitter. You can email me. I'll be in the chat. Let's go ahead and make this happen. Let's continue the race to 16 helmets out of the collection. Nah, dude, I'm good. It's going to be a fun weekend.
That's got to be a good omen for A&M going in the weekend, right? I mean,
I think so.
Pay it forward, act of kindness like that. Bears getting sent a – he sent you the white one too,
He
right?
sent me the white one too. No, it was
edition.
A dope one. The retro one. Here's what I can appreciate. Texas A&M and Cole Thompson coming together to see a common balance. The Bear and the battered Aggie syndrome working as one. What's not to love about that, man?
I mean, who'd have thunk it, man? I certainly would have. Not me, not us. Guys, I want to say thank you so much. Cole Patrick is in the chat. What's going on? We appreciate you. Hottie Toddy, see you in the chat. Chaz, Auburn and Mizzou, who wins? We'll get there in a moment. Just stick with us. Joshua Blanton says, Roll Tide and Rocky Flop. We got the third Saturday in October, folks, in the building. Also, Boot Heel Sports Network, bounce back game, MIZ. So we got some MIZ love in here as well. Again, it's going to be a really fun Thursday, guys. We appreciate you all. Like I said, Week 8 is officially on deck, and a loaded slate it is. With that being said, guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it, Bears. We always do in our midweek show. Let's talk some best bets before we get into our full picks. Again, our best bets brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. More on them in just a second. But without further ado, as I just took the Bear off the screen,
Thanks,
here we
buddy.
go. All right, our best bets for Week 8. Let's get it going, Bear, with my first pick. Again, you sit, by the way, or we both sit, I should say, 18-17 overall. A little bit of a rough week for you last week.
Yeah,
I do want to highlight this, though. This needs to be noted. You are on one of the most generational gambling runs of all time. I don't know if people actually realize this, and I didn't until last weekend, and you can kind of update me because I don't know how your record turned out last weekend. But for those who may have missed it, Bear has been posting, so we're doing our best bets. He's posting just his best bets that are like 10 or 15 games long, however many games it is. This dude's winning percentage is like 75%. Bear would be considered like the greatest gambler of all time at this given moment. Do you have an update for us, Bear? I had to bring this to light because I remember looking last week and I was like, holy shit, dude, you're like 65-20. These aren't straight up picks. These are bets.
So let's see. It was 64-22 last week. I went 12-0 week 1. I went 11-1 week 2. And then I went 10-2 week 3. So I had the
only thing I'm upset about, Bear, is you did not bring this to our attention earlier.
Yeah. So I did really, really good to begin the season. I've started to cool off a little bit. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I went 500. I went 7-7. Last week, I went 4-12. I went 5-12. It was not a good week. The best bet didn't hit. All my bets on here besides one didn't hit. Literally, I had 3 games that got decided in the last second of the matchup, whether the over-under hit. So I think right now we're pushing 68-22, 29. I'll update you after this because I got to get my best bets out for tomorrow.
Listen, the law of averages says you have to come down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm not even holding it against you. Again, I just want to highlight, in case y'all been missing it, maybe it's a little bit late, or maybe since the Bear has cooled off, he'll start to hit that upswing again. But Bear, you have been on a generational run.
I'm going to be very excited to see what it looks like going into the last couple of weeks of the season. Because I'm throwing down very little money. I need to start making the bigger bets. I need to start throwing a little bit of
composure. I would have been unhinged if I was 30, whatever you were, in like 3 through 3 weeks.
Yeah. What was it? 32 and 33-3. I was
33. That is outrageous. That's absolutely outrageous. Either way, let's get into our best bets this week, Bear. Again, we each have 5. I'm going to start with mine, if you don't mind. I'll go with my first one. Again, no particular order, but I do want to start with the game. We are here, boots on the ground in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going Vandy -2.5. I believe in Clark Lee. I believe in Diego Pavia. Bobby Yaga gets it done. I'm very well documented. I think my Couillon card and my Bayou card have officially been revoked, but it's okay. We ride high this weekend. Vibes will be high in lot 2. I just trust this Vandy football team. I think they're a better football team. I think they're favored for a reason. I think this LSU thing, it's like it's at a boiling point and it's ready to explode. They're just looking for any reason to go completely full Cajun unhinged. I think they get their reason this weekend. I like Vandy to cover at home.
This is one of those games I didn't feel like touching simply because of I did not want to believe that we were going to see Vanderbilt be able to pull this off. And at least then I wouldn't lose any money. I feel very confident in saying that because of what I've noticed over the last few years, especially in this matchup since joining the SEC in 2012, Arkansas and Texas A&M is always a battle of the fourth quarter. It always seems to end up where A&M pulls away late. But that's where you can feel confident that at least the 7.5, it's going to be a touchdown game. I like Bobby Petrino running the offense. I like what I saw from Taylor Green last week. And if anything, Taylor Green getting those garbage point touchdowns, even when you feel like that maybe Texas A&M has got this thing locked up, is going to get the backdoor cover. So I think that Arkansas, they're going to make it a 4-quarter battle, or we're going to watch them beat down by 20, and they'll bring it back within a touchdown. Marcel Reed in the rushing attack, they're able to coast their way into a victory. It will be enough, though, to go ahead and hit the under 7.5.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback right off you because I also have that play, Arkansas plus 7.5. I agree with you. This was one I wrestled with the pick. We'll talk more about it when we get into our pick 'em, but I went back and forth, wrestled with the pick. Either way, I do like Hogs. A lot of the same reasons you said, Cole. I like Arkansas to cover here. These games are always close. I think in Fayetteville, not only could it be close, I think Arkansas could win the game, but just to be safe, take the 7 and the hook here. The hook is a big part of this. I agree with you. Hogs plus 7.5.
Let's go to South Carolina, Columbia, Willie B. I think that when you look at both of these offenses right now, it's very challenging to see one of them having the breakout game. Like, this is not the week Lenore Sellers will go full sicko mode Superman and lead his team to a double-digit victory. This is not the game where we're going to see John Mateer come on out and sling it around the yard and make it look like easy breezy lemon squeezy. It's something about Willie B atmosphere in an afternoon environment. Got to have game for Shane Beamer. Got to have game for Brent Venables. This feels like both of your defenses come on out swinging. It's very low scoring. That's why I'm taking the under at minus 42.5.
I'm also going there, Bear. Again, we've got a couple. You and I do the same picks. Great minds think alike. I like the under 42.5 as well. There's nothing about this game that tells me their offense is going to have a breakout performance. Certainly the South Carolina side. I'll tell you this. The only way this total's in jeopardy, which very well could happen, defensive scores, special team scores, we're getting points outside of the offenses, then maybe, just maybe, this thing becomes kind of like last year, right? South Carolina won that game, 35-9 or something crazy, and it was because you had 21 points out the gate spotted due to, special teams plays or defensive touchdowns, if you will. So if something like that happens, it could hit, but the right side of this bet to be on, it's the under. If you surprise me with the over, so be it, but the right side's the under here.
Let's go over to Gainesville. For some reason, I still think this is going to be a very, very, very low scoring affair. I don't know the reasoning why, if it's just because of I don't trust that we're going to see Billy Napier get back into his element of a play caller. I don't know if it's because of I think that Coleman Hutzler's defense has turned the corner. I can tell you what, I don't trust entirely the offensive line at Mississippi State. So therefore, this may end up being a rock fight to the finish in the Swamp. I think of the under hits. 51.5 feels very egregious. You're talking about a score of something along the lines of 30-24 for this to be the over. I don't think that happens. I think we're talking more so around like a 24-21 finish. So the under feels like a very easy play for Mississippi State and Florida, even if Florida is the one to go ahead and win and cover that 8.5 point spread.
Bear, I'm going to stick with the same game. This is a game, Florida, Mississippi State, that I have admittedly found myself going back and forth on. Like, guys, if you go watch the preview on this game and you listen to my prediction, I'm pretty sure my prediction counters what I'm about to say when it comes to my best bet. I went on a show last night talking gambling. I think I contradicted what I'm about to say here as well. And it's because there's so much going into this game with the whole Billy Napier saga and looking like it might very well be his last game there. And how does the team respond? Yeah, I'm going to go Mississippi State plus 9.5. I am. I know there's no Fluff Bothwell. I totally get it, but I don't trust Florida with all the distractions and the outside noise to win this game convincingly. I think Florida will win this football game. That is my pick. I've got Florida winning this football game, but 9.5, maybe just a little bit too rich for me. So I like Mississippi State. You talked about it before, Bear. Heck, you're picking Mississippi State. Not to play spoiler here, but you've gone with the upset. Yeah, I like State to cover. I do. I think it's a touchdown game. Who knows? State maybe makes this thing a fourth quarter game down to the wire and pulls out the win. But yeah, plus 9.5. I'll roll my dice in the dogs. It's either Florida's either going to come out high flying, swinging, dealing, whatever for their head coach, or they're going to essentially cave and crumble, and the Billy Napier era is going to come to a crashing end. So, yeah, I'll go dogs here, plus 9.5, finding a way.
Before we move on from this, the report coming out from USA Today is that Billy Napier will be fired regardless on Sunday. It is a done deal. Boosters are fed up with him. At that point, do you even care about showing up on Saturday if you're Billy Napier? Like, I get it. You want to go out on a high note. Maybe it's a good opportunity for you to go showcase what you got for the next opportunity for you. But, like, when you know that the writing's on the wall that you're done, what am I going to give to this program where they're already paying me the buyout? I need to show up if I'm going to take a year off or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, I think pride keeps you showing up. I mean, I think that's about it. Is your maybe you kind of look at it as like, hey, this is every time I take the field, it's an audition for my next job.
Sure.
He's far from done from coaching. So I think that's the biggest thing. I don't think he'll go out there and necessarily mail it in. I mean, heck, on the opposite side of what you're saying, Bear, what would be frustrating is it's like, hey, what would stop Billy Napier from just truly emptying the kitchen sink? What do you have to lose? It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, God forbid we're going to see Florida go out there and do some things they haven't done, and maybe they have success, and then you're really scratching your head and wondering what could have been. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting vibe in the Swamp on Saturday. But you mentioned, Bear. I mean, I had a buddy of mine DM me, which he doesn't work in the media, anything like that. Just a guy that I went to college with, admittedly, that's from the state of Florida and is a big Gators fan. And as the DM said, has got a mother-in-law that's a Bull Gator, which is like a big booster, whatever. And yeah, The chatter is the same with them. I mean, the smoke is all there. The same message is being conveyed. When there's that much smoke, typically there's fire. Yes, Sunday is going to be a very interesting day in the city of Gainesville. So I think Florida will make a move based off what we've heard. It does sound like Florida is going to make a move. I texted some other Florida contacts down there and asked about, hey, what's up with these Billy Napier rumors? And they just sent back the eyeball emoji. They didn't really want to say much. So, so as you can imagine, I think it's about to hit the fan. But, I mean, I think you coach out of pride, Bear. That's the biggest thing. You're coaching for your next job. You're coaching for those kids, those players. You're doing it more for them. But, I mean, if you're Billy Napier, I don't know why you don't just empty the kitchen sink and say, hey, boys, let's one last hurrah. You know what I mean? Let's just have one more fun Saturday together. It'll be a really emotional game for Florida. Very emotional for those players, those coaches. Because even though they won't maybe say it, they know. They know what's happening. So
you know who else is on the hot seat right now? One Mr. Hugh Freeze. And that line is actually not correct, but that's where we are going next. It is a -1.5 in favor of Mizzou. It's supposed to be -1.5 there. I'm taking Mizzou to win this game. I think Mizzou comes out swinging. I think they have a better defense than we give them credit for. I think that we also got to give a lot of credit to what we have seen from the adjustments in Kirby Moore's offense. They made it a 4-quarter game against Alabama. Alabama has an offense that is a juggernaut. Auburn has an offense that puts you to sleep. So when you add that in, if you're able just to get enough over the edge, it's a pick 'em basically. The reason why we give any bit of respect, I think, to Auburn in this matchup is because it's at Jordan-Hare, and it's going to be a game that is necessary for Hugh Freeze to come out on top. I don't think it happens. Eli Drinkwitz is getting rumored to be potentially the Penn State head coach. He's already been rumored to be in line to maybe be at Florida. I don't think either happens, but regardless, if you are trying to show why you are one of the best coaches in the industry, you go on into a place like Jordan-Hare, your first road environment, the first time that Mizzou is away from Columbia, and you prove that you're the exact same team. I think that's what we see on Saturday.
Bear, I'm going to go for my final pick down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I am going to roll with the Crimson Tide. Listen, I took them at 9.5, Bear. I think the spread has actually dropped. If I'm correct,
I think it's 8.5 now.
Yeah, I believe it's 8.5 now. It's actually come down. Some money has come in on the Vols. You know, admittedly, Bear, when this line first dropped, I told myself, like, man, that's way too much. Like, I think Tennessee's the play. Like, you know, but the more, it's 8.5 now. But the more I've thought about it, it's just like, dude, with the brand of football that Bama's playing right now, the way Ty Simpson's spinning it, you know, the status of Jam Miller is a big one, no doubt. I'm a little concerned. That's something to keep an eye on. But Bama looks like the team I thought they would be. You know, Joey Aguilar, and as good as Tennessee's offense has been, and they're going to get theirs. I kind of have the same feelings about Joey as I do John Mateer. They're both dynamic players, but at any moment can have that kind of game where that gunslinger mentality and some of that risk-taking can come back to bite you. It can backfire on you. And I think Bama's got a defense at home at night that could make Joey Aguilar pay if he's out there going out there making not great decisions or taking risks maybe he shouldn't take. So I just like Bama in this spot, man. I think this is essentially Ty Simpson's Super Bowl. The kid is from the state of Tennessee. He's talked about it this week. He grew up a fan of Peyton Manning, grew up a Tennessee fan. I believe he was committed to Tennessee at one point. This is going to be an emotional game for him. I think he has a really big night. And I think Alabama pulls away late. I'm not saying it's going to be a complete bludgeoning, if you will, but I think Bama pulls away late in this football game. They cover, whether you want it at 8.5, 9.5, I think it's a double-digit victory for the Crimson Tide.
See, I think Alabama is getting a lot of love in this game for a good reason, especially with the way that Ty Simpson's looked. I think that we have to give a little bit of credit to Joey Aguilar. Like, we did not do, in my humble opinion, a good enough job of preaching what this game means to him and what this game means to potentially his breakout performance. Because he already showed you that he can win against a team like Georgia. You cannot put the loss on Georgia all on Joey Aguilar. 2 bad interceptions, but 1 ball ricocheted off of a receiver's hands. Probably should have been a catch. He fought his way back in overtime against Mississippi State. There's an opportunity for him to enter the Heisman conversation once again if he can go on into Tuscaloosa and get a win. And I think that this is going to be a game where Alabama pulls away. I agree with you that the over of 8.5, 9.5 is going to hit. But I could see this being something along the lines of 38-24. Maybe we get to 38-31. Alabama has a couple of explosive plays allowed in that secondary because if Damani Jackson's on the field, I'm going to tell you what, Chris Brazell or Mike Matthews, they're going to get a walk-in easy touchdown at some point in the game. So I think at the over of 59.5, it's a risky play, but I'm okay taking a risk in this game. You got a high-tempo scoring offense in Tennessee. You got a quarterback that doesn't make a lot of mistakes in Ty Simpson. That back and forth night game, first time in a while that both these teams at night in Tuscaloosa are relevant. It just, to me, screams fireworks. We're going to see a lot of explosive plays. I think Alabama wins. I think Alabama covers, but I do think the over hits.
There you have it, folks. Our best bets. Both of us sitting at 18 and 17. So something's got to give this weekend. Will it be the Bear? Will it be myself? Talus, Fadus, whatever you want to do. Those are our best bets for week number 8. And what you should do is go check out our friends over at FanDuel to place your best bets. Because as always, again, we are brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. And FanDuel is your one-stop shop to get in on all the action, guys. FanDuel's got an offer you don't want to miss this NFL season. New customers can bet just $5 to get 300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. If it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines, whatever your style. FanDuel's got you covered. The NFL season's here. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Once again, FanDuel.com/SECU to get in on the action today. Once again, let us know your best bets, guys. We'd love to hear from you. You're going to tail us. You're going to fade us. Just make sure whatever you do, FanDuel.com/SECU. Guys, we got football every single day through like after Thanksgiving. So if you're not signed up with FanDuel, you're missing out. You're missing out. All right.
Did you watch last night's games?
So what?
Did you watch last night's games?
I did not, man. I was
awesome.
Busy with friends and, doing other shit.
Media stuff, had to go have fun. No, well, I'll tell you what, you missed out on an epic collab.
I saw there were like 50 people in attendance at the UTEP game.
Oh, it was fantastic. Right up here in Houston, because Sam Houston doesn't have a stadium right now. I could have bought a ticket for $6. Should have gone.
There were literally 50 people there.
I think it was maybe 100.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It was not even a scrimmage crowd. I mean,
0 for 7 for Sam Houston to begin the year. The Phil Lungo era is off to a fantastic start. And then you had Jacksonville State that did get a win last night over Delaware.
Nice. How about the Gamecocks getting a dub?
Why
the
not?
War Chickens, the other War Chickens.
I say the other War Chickens, the Kirkland brand War Chickens, as we like to call them on the show.
Kirkland brand War Chickens. All right. That being said, guys, we got 8 great games to talk about. Preview, predict. Like I mentioned, guys, we have dropped all these previews and predictions. So if you want to make a more in-depth breakdown of each and every single individual game, make sure you check out those. And again, we appreciate you guys already doing so, running up the numbers this week. But without further ado, this is Week 8 edition of SEC Unfiltered's SEC Pick'em as we go through each and every single game. Bear, let's start with the very first game. Actually, let's start with the records, if you don't mind me doing so. Bear sits currently at 61-12. Yours truly at a cool 64-10, which now that I'm looking at it, Bear, something doesn't add up here.
I either have 62 wins or I have 60 or I have 60.
How do I have one more game than you?
I either have a loss that I need to go back and look up or I have a win that I don't have.
Let's just say it's a loss you have to have.
Fine. I'm 61-13. Let's go with that. Give you more credit. Go ahead.
Either way, we'll get the records fixed before next week. Either way, Bears playing from behind a little bit. It's okay. The Bears down, never out. That said, there's a lot of disagreement this week, and I do want to one more time emphasize, hey, we got a lot of crap last week because Bear and I were on the same side for every single game. I didn't love it. Cole didn't love it, but we went 7-1. Yeah. Sometimes it just is what it is. That's just kind of how it shakes. And, hey, anybody, we'll take a 7-1 week, but that is not the case this week. A lot of disagreements, which means a lot of fun. Bear, let's first start with the game right here. Nashville, Tennessee, First Bank Stadium, LSU, Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is favored against a top 10 team for the first time ever. Bear, they're favored against LSU for the first time since I think 1940. I didn't even know they were making odds back in 1940 for college football, but I was told apparently that they were. Either way, it's going to be an electric weekend here in Nashville. Lot 2 is going to be rocking, which, by the way, guys, if you are in Nashville, come on out to Lot 2. Our friends over at Outlaw Beer are supplying us with tons of cases of beer for the entire tailgate. We are collabing with the Door Report and those guys at the tailgate. It's going to be an absolute blast. Early Saturday morning, kegs and eggs. Come ready to party, and let's get it going here in Nashville. Either way, Bear, this football game, Vandy LSU, you and I are both going with the Commodores. And who would have thunk it? Vandy's the favorite. We are going with the home favorite in this ball game. Bear, what a time to be alive.
I would be completely honest. A part of me wants to flip it on over to LSU because how many people are starting to buy stock into Vandy. The thing is just like, I don't trust right now what I'm seeing from Garrett Nussmeier. And unfortunately, you're asking me to go put him in a road environment, albeit it's Vanderbilt. I'm not trying to go ahead and crap on First Bank Stadium, but it's not Willie B. It's not Bryant Denny. It's not Neyland. It is a place to where I think you are going to have an opportunity to not let the crowd noise invoke you. But it's hard for me to envision him being the reason why you can win a football game after what we've seen so far. And the other point is that Vanderbilt does some things that are exceedingly promising when it comes to the ability to win rock fights. They win time of possession. They win third down conversions. They win on pass attempts. They win on big time runs. They win on being able to convert. They do a lot of the things that you want to have in a slow, methodical game that gives you the opportunity to kind of show the weaknesses of other opponents. And so I think that when you look at right now with LSU, if you're not able to win by the vertical passing attack, which is the weak point of LSU, the weak point of Vanderbilt, this feels like in every way it favors Vandy. And I can't trust that right now I'm going to see the vertical passing attack to move in that direction. I do think that you will see this be a very low scoring game. Like, I know I said a prediction of like something like 30 plus points. Vandy's not scoring 30. We're going to see something along the lines of like 21-17 if they win this game. But I just trust right now that Vandy is going to have a little bit more offensively than what I see from the defense of, what I see from the offensive LSU.
Vandy's going to get back to playing Vandy football. I think they win this game. I think they're the better team. I don't think there's any doubt left on the field, whether it's by 14, whether it's by 10, whether it's by 7. I think Vandy wins this game. Again, I'm very well documented at this point, and I am ready to take whatever it is, LSU fans, the wrath they have for me if that pick goes awry. But I'm riding with the Doors, as are you, Bear. Let's go to the game in Columbia, South Carolina. This is a really fun early matchup. Again, we got fun matchups all throughout the slate. It's South Carolina. It's Oklahoma at Williams-Brice Stadium. Bear, I'm going with the Sooners to bounce back from their Red River Shootout loss, go into Columbia and get a win. You are going with the Gamecocks. We're both going with the under in this one. We think it's a rock fight. You're buying stock and belief in Cocktober, my friend.
I think that Sean Elliott being a part of this now offensive line group is a big win. Because again, look at when Sean Elliott was the offensive line coach at South Carolina, you at least were producing all SEC caliber talent. The part that I look at is more so you don't get right by going into Willie B. That's the problem here, is that you don't find a way to fix all of your flaws by walking on into Columbia, South Carolina. I don't care if it's at 11. I don't care if it's at 7 p.m. I don't care if it's at 2:30. I don't care if it's at midnight. You do not walk into that cathedral of chaos and say, we have fixed all of our offensive problems and we're good to go. This is one of those games where it just feels like a bad weekend out in Red River, a bad weekend for the offensive personnel, a good week for what I think is a change offensively for South Carolina. Very low scoring game, very much a defensive bout. You're asking me right now, what do I think is better? Lenore Sellers at home, having an opportunity to right the ship and put his team in a good position. There are just too many questions I have right now when it comes to Oklahoma's offense. Again, I don't like either of these teams right now with how they're looking. But I think that you can look right at this point and say, South Carolina needs this win more. And that's why they end up getting the job done.
I just, Bear, have a really hard time selling all my stock on Oklahoma because of one loss. I don't. Maybe there's a part of me that says I don't want to believe Oklahoma just tanks after losing one game. That's really what. To me, this would be a bad loss for the Sooners. And I get it, Willie B. We talked a lot about it in the preview. Raucous environment, even for like a noon kickoff, 12:45 local time kickoff. But I do trust John Mateer as a leader. I think he will bounce back the right way. Again, like you said, rock fight, defensive slugfest. It could be very well kind of like the Texas game for Oklahoma, where it comes down to this game, that the style of the game is similar, right? Turnovers, special teams play, probably going to determine this one. Oklahoma has to play a clean game. That's the key, I think.
Yeah.
Bear,
Both do, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt. Bear, really quickly, Manny says, Chris, do you feel like a woman? Nice shirt. Put some respect on Shania. I thought this was really good vibes going into a Nashville weekend. We're in Nashville, baby. Yeehaw. Miss Terry's bathwater.
Next one real fast. Oh, wait, over under 1.5 sacks. I go over. I think he has 2. I go 2.5, actually.
Anthony B., are you saying that Pavi is a better quarterback than Sellers? He has been a better quarterback than Lenore Sellers this season. It's not even a question. It's just not even a question.
If you ask me right now, which quarterback would I send to New York City of the 2? Diego Pavia. Not even remotely.
It's not even a debate.
Not even a debate.
Sellers has done. Lenore Sellers has regressed. He looks like a shell of the guy of last year, and it's not all his fault, but he looks nothing like that guy. So yeah, it's not even remotely a question, I think. Lenore Sellers is the most physically gifted quarterback in the league, but he is not the best quarterback in the league. Those are two very different things.
Where would you rank right now Pavia among quarterbacks in the SEC? Is he top 5 or is he under?
He's top 5 for sure.
I'd have him right at 5 or 6. Like, I would say Simpson, Aguilar, Mateer are easy 1, 2, 3. I think the potential of Garrett is there, but I can't put it right there. Marcel Reed and Taylor Green would probably be in that conversation. Pavia would be right about there.
I like it. Fair enough. Yeah, top 5 quarterback for me. And by the way, Manny, I was just giving you crap too as well. I know you respect her. We all do. Shania is the queen. I get a lot of compliments on this shirt when I wear it out. Either way, let's go to the game, Bear, in Fayetteville, Arkansas, Texas A&M. This was one, again, if you go back and watch the preview, I wrestled with this pick. So hard. But I got to go A&M. You and I both going with the Aggies. Aggies find a way to win this game every single year, it seems. No longer in Jerry World, but you and I say different location, same result. Texas A&M's playing great football right now.
We also did say, though, that this was going to be take the plus 7.5. So we're not disrespecting Arkansas. Like, I'm not going out of my way and saying Arkansas can't make this a 4-quarter battle. I'm not saying that I don't trust Taylor Green to get his. I'm saying that I like Texas A&M because they've crossed off every single red flag except for one, and that's playing on the road in the SEC. And once they do that, we can actually put them in the conversation for, I think, national title contender. Now, I'm not ready to do that yet. I think that the other shoe will drop at some point. They got 3 road games in a bye week over the next month. Something is going to happen where I think Texas A&M falls short. I don't see it in Fayetteville. You already fired your coach. You are looking to have that signature win, but there were too many things that I noticed last week that it took a lot of breaks in favor of Arkansas to make it a 4-quarter game, where I don't think that you're going to get that from Texas A&M and pull off the upset. But I am taking the plus 7.5. Again, the thing that I'm looking for Texas A&M in this game, who's your wide receiver number 3? Like, I get that you love Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion. Let's get somebody else involved simply because of what if an injury occurs right before the playoffs and now you don't got one of those guys. That's all I'm asking for in this game if I am Mike Elko.
I can hear it now. Our friend Jackson Darr that we met in Dallas is saying that we hate the Hogs because we're picking Texas A&M. Jackson, we don't. Got nothing but love for the Hogs, but Texas A&M is pretty good, man. Pretty good. So, yeah, feels like a safe bet to go with the Aggies on the road. Bear, let's go to the game in Athens, Georgia. Georgia and Ole Miss doing battle. This one's going to be a lot of fun. Trinidad Chambliss takes his game on the road. Dogs trying to do something they really haven't done all season outside of, I guess 1 or 2 games. Get off to a fast start. To a fast start in a primetime game like this. I'm going Georgia. You're going with the Ole Miss Rebels. Play spoiler for you, Bear. This is one that's going to be clipped that we're going to throw out there. Talk to the people. Why Ole Miss in Athens?
Look, sometimes you just have a gut intuition. And for me, watching as teams like Auburn and Alabama and Tennessee have been able to get off to a fast start, bottom line is you're not going to out-scheme Lane Kiffin. Kiffin's going to have a game plan that is bulletproof to come on into this matchup on the road and leave people talking. It's a year where we are all coming into the season wondering, well, what is Ole Miss? Are they an 8-4 team? Are they a 9-3 team? And once again, when there's no expectations, Lane Kiffin comes out of the woodwork and he impresses. He finds a way to get the best version out of quality players. We weren't talking about Deuce Alexander. We weren't talking about Harrison Wallace. We certainly weren't talking about Trinidad Chambliss, yet all of them are making an impact for Ole Miss's offense. We weren't talking about Keelan Lacey. Guess what? He's one of the best running backs in the SEC. And I think that if you are able to get off to a fast start, just like Auburn, just like Tennessee, just like Alabama, as much as I have questions with this Pete Golding defense, I have more questions when it comes to what is the offense going to be able to do to respond if they're down 17-0. I mean, we were a play away from watching Jackson Arnold and company maybe putting the bullet in the back of the head of a Glenn Schumann defense and it being a blowout game and the overhitting and having all the things happen out on Jordan Hare on Saturday night. I think Trinidad Chambliss has that dog in him. I think that this offense has that fight in him. I think that there's enough to like about where Ole Miss is offensively that even if you were to make this a 4-quarter battle, if the defense can get one critical stop on Gunnar Stockton, if they can slow down the rushing attack, Lane Kiffin and company are proving why they are built different this year. It's time to stop disrespecting Lane. It's time to start realizing that Ole Miss is a legit threat to go to the playoff.
Hey, remember when you said earlier before the season that Taylor Green was going to make you say some pretty outrageous things? That's Trinidad Chambliss now.
We've crossed that border. By the way,
he is officially Trinidad Chambliss has taken that spot.
By the way, Bootfield Sports Network, he's number 4 for me. That's where I have Trinidad Chambliss. When you do what he's able to accomplish, I feel pretty good about where he is.
I got Georgia at home. I just listened. I thought I felt really confident in saying the Dogs were going to have their 33 or whatever it was game win streak at home snap this season. Felt really confident saying that they hadn't lost a home game since 2019. Felt like that was going to come to an end this year. I can't say they're going to lose 2. I mean, maybe they do, but I don't see it. I don't think they're going to lose 2. I think Georgia at home against top 10 teams, you look at their track record, it's pretty impressive. And I respect the heck out of what Lane and Ole Miss have done, but I think this is a different beast. I think Trinidad Chambliss first start on the road. I think he will struggle a little bit. I think Georgia probably another gutty, gritsy, not sexy win, but it will be a win nonetheless. I think they get the job done. I'm going Georgia. Bear going with the Ole Miss Rebels. It'll be a fun one, no doubt, at Sanford Stadium. Bear, let's go to the game in the Swamp where, again, everyone wants to talk about everything not on the field, but there is a game that will be played on Saturday afternoon, Florida and Mississippi State. I'm going with the Gators. You are going with Mississippi State and Jeff Lebby to get his first SEC win. What a day it would be in Starkville. I'll just say this, and I'll let you go, Bear. This team seems to rally around Billy for whatever reason, right, wrong, indifferent. It'll be an emotional day at the Swamp. I think everybody understands what is going to happen. More than likely on Sunday, if not Sunday, at least early next week. This team loves him. I think they'll rally around him. I think they'll play well. I do question State without Fluff Bothwell having kind of that second punch in the run game. But close game. I think State covers. I'm going to go with the Gators at the Swamp to get the win, though. But I respect your pick, Jeff Lebby getting the dub. And you mentioned in our preview the history of Mississippi State and Florida and knocking out Florida coaches. That very well could happen again, be the final nail in the coffin for the Napier tenure.
Well, remember last season when we were having this conversation that if they lost on the road in Starkville, they would find a way to fire Billy Napier at that point? They got to win. I don't know if it's the fact that I just think that no one is buying into long-term about what is going to be Billy Napier's future. I understand that there's a lot of injuries to Mississippi State, and maybe that's me being very much like a believer in rallying around a team that needs to have a win. But a part of me just says, if there's an opportunity for this to be a rock fight, I believe personally we are going to watch this go down to the wire, and Davin Booth's going to be the one to get the job done. There's a part of me that wants to believe that Billy Napier is going to go unload the kitchen sink. Another part of me also says, you can unload the kitchen sink all you want. You got a team that has something to play for. Everyone else in that locker room knows that you're done. And so when you look at that standpoint, Mississippi State, that could find their way to be right back in the conversation of an 8-win season, maybe be at least bowl eligible. This is one of the more winnable games. I like the direction of where we have seen this defense go. if they can force DJ Lagway to play uncomfortable, I think this could be a game that easily goes in favor of the Bulldogs. And I think that they do make him play uncomfortable because, again, every single moment that we're looking forward, DJ Lagway is having a conversation. And it's a simple ask. Am I going to be the long-term answer here? Or am I going to have to be using this as an audition elsewhere? And that becomes a problem.
Would be a heck of a win. Again, what a staple win, what a signature win for Jeff Lebby, still pretty early in his Mississippi State tenure, getting that first SECW on the road in the Swamp. By the way, our guy, Blake Ruffino over at AYS. Why do you hate LSU and Blake so much? I expect this from Cole, not you.
Yeah, why do you, man?
First off, I love that he says he expects it from you, Bear. You're just a known LSU hater.
Apparently,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that you were just a known LSU hater. But
I think what was it? I took them against Ole Miss, and I won, and then I took them against Vanderbilt. So it's like,
did you take them against Clemson?
I took them against Clemson.
That's right,
I was on LSU side for that one.
So you haven't picked LSU to lose.
I picked them one time to lose. It was the Ole Miss game. Every other game, I picked them to win.
And you were correct. Yeah.
But I also said that they would fall short of going to the national championship this year. And I also was giving them crap last season. So again, and I'm a Bama grad. So naturally,
listen, I would like to think that all that goodwill I built up in Omaha can't be erased by anything. I'm testing that, though. I think I'm testing that.
Well, you're going down there next week, so that'll be fun for you to see what happens.
Leave it to the Bear to spoil a surprise. But yes, I am going to Baton Rouge. That will be quite interesting. I feel like they're going to be serving me my gumbo cold, and I don't know. I'm probably going to get the leftovers. I'm not going to get any of the good stuff at the tailgate because
you're going to get your daiquiris hot and your gumbo cold. That'll be a fun one for you.
Yeah, tough. Apparently, I'm banned from Pyrans too. That's where we go. That's where my guy Bryce Kuhn took it too far with that comment. We're taking it too far. We're taking it too far. Don't do that to me. That's not. I don't appreciate that. So.
No, there's no gumbo. All right, so you don't even get it to begin with.
No, my crawfish will be dead at the boil or dead before the boil. That's my punishment. My crawfish are dead before the boil.
You're getting the soft tails, dude.
Oh, sorry, Blake. I love you, brother. I love you. All right, let's go to the next game. Texas at Kentucky. Bear. We don't have to spend a ton of time on this one. You and I both going with the Longhorns. Kentucky sucks, and I fully expect Texas to bounce back in a big way. I think they build off of what they did last week. Not saying the offense lights the world on fire, but boy, I think that defense is just going to absolutely dominate Kentucky. I think it's how it looks for Texas is what we're most interested in. Does the run game build off what they did in the second half? Does Arch Manning, put together another efficient performance? But either way, you and I both. I think the only question is in this game, 12.5, does Texas cover, not do they win?
Yeah. My big question is, what are we going to see from the encore offense of Texas? Because defensively, they're going to shut out Kentucky. I don't worry about that. The run defense is still one of the best in the country. We talk about the pass defense being able to take another step forward. There's so many things that you like about where Texas is right now after that game against Oklahoma. But then you got to remember, it's the Red River Shootout. This is something that comes out where you see the best version of a team play 4 quarters of action because of its pride on the line, its bragging rights, it's having the ability to look down at Oklahoma and say, we're better than you. And the Red River Shootout hangover is real. So this is a game I would not touch. I wouldn't go near when it comes to the betting line. I just don't think that there is enough fight offensively for Kentucky. And there's more fight offensively for Texas. The status of CJ Baxter, it doesn't look good at this point. So it's going to be the Trey Wisner show, knowing that Jared Gibson entered the transfer portal. You got a lot of the younger guys that are going to have to step on up. I just think that this is going to be a game where Texas does enough offensively to get the job done.
Bear, let's go to the game in Tuscaloosa. Alabama, Tennessee, third Saturday in October. This rivalry certainly has gotten some juice over the last couple of years. Back and forth it has gone. Tennessee last year getting the dub, smoking the cigar. Cigars will be smoked on Saturday night. You and I both say it'll be the Crimson Tide. Kalen DeBoer and his black hoodie lighting one up in postgame. Bear, talk to me about this one. Again, I'm going with Bama to cover. We're both going with Bama to win. Neither one of us feeling frisky and picking the balls. I mean, let me ask you this, Bears. Is there anybody out there going Tennessee in an upset here? I don't think I've seen anybody that's going Tennessee in this game.
Cole Thompson is going with the Tennessee Volunteers to win. He believes that they are a fantastic roster. They are mysterious bathwater. Am I reading this correctly? I can't read your handwriting down here. Penmanship. No, I'm sorry. Listen, guys, I want to believe that Tennessee is still a good team, and I think that they're going to have to create chaos. The thing with Tennessee is they're number one in sacks in the SEC. They're number one in pressure rates, and they're top 3 in tackles for loss. So there's a lot to like about the opportunities of this defense getting after Ty Simpson, going after the right tackle spot, and forcing some incompletions or a turnover inside the red zone. They're going to have to be able to create their opportunities with short field position. The thing that I worry about is I think that it's Alabama, it's at night, it's third Saturday in October, and it's a place where Tennessee has not won in 2 decades. I mean, you add all this up, there's a reason why this is going to be a game to remember, but a reason why Alabama is favored by so much. And I think that the way Ty Simpson is playing right now, you have to find a way to mess him up. And I don't know if that's going to be possible with the inertia that we have seen so far from this Crimson Tide offense. Again, you watched last week an unhealthy Ryan Williams basically go out there and be a decoy, and Ty Simpson still found 8 different receivers for 3 touchdowns. I mean, like, that's where we were last week against Missouri. And if you think that there was a mismatch for Missouri secondary against Alabama, look at Tennessee's secondary against Alabama. No Jamal McCoy in this matchup. You got Colton Hood and a bunch of, we don't know what else is on the back end, kind of playing in your defense. And you got to wonder, when does the dam break? Is this the big blowout performance that Alabama needs because of its a rivalry? I don't think so, because I have too much respect for Joey Aguilar in this passing attack. I have too much respect for the ground game. I think it's going to be able to make some plays. I just think Alabama pulls away in the 4th quarter. That's why I got Alabama winning, but that's also why I have the overhitting. I could see this being 38-31 with no questions asked.
Doesn't mean Tennessee's a bad team, but I just think Alabama on a roll right now. I think Ty Simpson, again, has a big game. You know, like I said earlier, if there's no Jam Miller, that concerns me. But at home, at night, I got to roll with the Crimson Tide, man. Even if they don't end up covering, I'm thinking the Crimson Tide find a way to get a win. You talk about, though, Bear, disrupting the order in the SEC. If Ole Miss and or Tennessee win, I mean, who knows? Just who knows? Who knows? This weekend has chaos potential to the umph degree.
So you're ready for the 5-team college football playoff of the SEC that features Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and Missouri. Just like we all predicted at the start of the year.
Right. Bear, let's finally go to the game on the Plains. Auburn and Mizzou. You're going with MIZ. I'm going with the Auburn Tigers in really a shocking turn of events. I can't believe I'm putting any of my stock in Hugh Freeze, but I mean, dude, I do think, listen, from the football side of things on the field, because I don't just want to say, well, the crowd. I do think Auburn's defense can slow down Ahmad Hardy significantly, put this game on Bo Perbula in a hostile environment, force into some mistakes. Listen, this is Mizzou's first test on the road. It comes in what should be a madhouse on Saturday night. Am I worried about what Auburn can generate offensively? Yes, I absolutely am. But I just think in this environment, too, I think Auburn's going to get them one. That's a weird place to play. Maybe there's still some fight. Let's get one for the Gipper. Hugh Freeze is probably on his way out, but I don't know. I'm going to ride with Auburn here. I think War Eagle at home at night, I think they fuel off that atmosphere and just find a way to finally steal one. I don't know. I feel terrible. I never feel good about picking Hugh Freeze, though. I really don't. So maybe I'm a crazy person, but I'm going to go with Auburn.
Can I tell you why I'm picking Missouri?
Yeah, I would hope you do. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's because of Eli Drinkwitz. Which coach do I trust more? Do I trust Hugh Freeze and that offense and how they laid dormant in the second half against Georgia? Or do I trust Eli Drinkwitz, who gave a fight with Bo Perbula, with the rushing attack of Jamal Roberts, with the legs of number 9, with a defense that was able to create a turnover, with a kicking game that was able to put up some points, with the ability to make it a 4-quarter battle, with the version of Donovan O that we saw across the middle of the field? Again, one team embodies the persona of we don't care what you say about us in the national media, we're just going to go out there and show you that we belong in this conversation. And another team says, oh, the refs decided to screw us over. Okay, let's not even show up for the second half, guys. Like, the night and day difference from that game on Saturday was probably the most infuriating factor, because of, if you look at the numbers, Auburn was killing Georgia in every single stat line offensively. And then they didn't get the touchdown, and Hugh Freeze and company said, well, the officials aren't going to give us this one, boys, so might as well pack it on in. You would never see that from an Eli Drinkwitz-led team. And I think that even if Eli Drinkwitz and the boys are down, they're going to find a way to be able to bring this one back. That's all the sign that John Cohen needs to know. Hey, we don't got the right head coach in the building. Let's go ahead and try to fix Auburn again with a guy that we're probably going to overrate.
There you have it, guys. Those are our picks. All 8 games officially in the books. Bear, this is going to be a great weekend, man. I mean, start to finish. What games what games are we reacting to this weekend? LSU, Vandy.
We're going to do LSU, Vandy.
Ole Miss, Georgia. Tennessee, Alabama. Is it that simple?
I'm going to leave it up to you guys, and I'll put it in the chapters. If you will show on out, I will do one other game. You can pick which one it is. It's probably going to be Mizzou-Auburn because it would already be that late at night. I would be willing to do Texas A&M Arkansas if you guys want to show on out. But for sure, we're doing Vanderbilt LSU. We're doing Georgia Ole Miss. We're doing third Saturday in October.
That trifecta, no doubt, we will hit. And again, SEC Unfiltered will be on hand in Nashville for Vandy LSU. Lot to First Bank Stadium. I'm sorry, I was distracted by Miss Terry's bathwater. I'll do anything you tell me to, Cole. Let's pause.
No, we're not going to be that. Miss Terry's bathwater.
Pause. Hey, do like Kirby Smart and give him a round of applause.
Give me a timeout. Give me a clap. Give me a clap, guys.
This is clapping. This is clapping.
Which game do you feel the least confident in right now?
Of my picks?
Of your picks.
I probably got to go with Auburn beating Missouri. That last one, that just, I don't know. Like I said, anytime you're putting stock in Hugh Freeze to get a job done, that's concerning. I'll go outside of that one, though. Probably Oklahoma on the road. Just because I've seen it before, man. South Carolina's a tough place to play. Yeah, that'd probably be my other one. That'd probably my least confident. But I feel pretty good about these, honestly. I feel pretty good.
I mean, I can go with a bunch of them because I went with a lot of underdogs. I mean, Ole Miss, you're a tall ask. I mean, it's a tall ask to go into Athens, GA. Already having a loss in the season. That, to me, is challenging. I still think it's LSU. I think LSU offensively, if they have any life in this matchup, they will outpower Vanderbilt.
Well, I'm the only thing that makes me nervous, Cole, is I have just so boisterously, if that's a word, called my shot in this game.
Yeah.
So
you did what I did with Trinidad Chambliss, and yeah, I was able to prevail.
I will be really feeling it going. But you know what? That's why LSU folks love us, and that's why they love me. I will be able to go into Baton Rouge and say, hey, I'll wear the L. I'll literally and figuratively wear the L. It's all good. Listen, it happens, man. Picks never personal. You just make a pick. It is what it is.
I see a scenario where State loses to Florida because of it's going to be the game of the year for Billy. I see a scenario where Georgia mollywops Ole Miss. I see a scenario where, hey, look, this is the version of LSU we were always promised. And I see the scenario where, hey, look, this is the version we were already promised. So, like, I could go 4-4 this week, and I wouldn't be shocked. I also see a scenario where I kick ass with Mizzou, I kick ass with Mississippi State, I kick ass with South Carolina, and I also kick ass with Vanderbilt. I'll take it.
The Ole Miss one to me, maybe I'm still just like I'm giving Georgia more credit than they deserve, but the Ole Miss one to me that would be the one that sent shockwaves for me personally. If Ole Miss goes into Athens and wins, that would be, yeah.
Of all the ones that I'm unsure of entirely, the one that I feel the most confident of the unsure one, South Carolina. I think South Carolina at home is just a different beast. And I get that their offense sucks. They're going to get somebody, and it ain't going to be Alabama. So this really is the game that you got to go ahead and take on.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say to that, Bear, is, I mean, their last home game was against Kentucky, and Kentucky is Kentucky, and the last one before that was Vandy, and they got smacked. So, I mean, I guess it's Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I with Oklahoma, I'm like, dude, I was so high on them before the Texas game. It's hard for me to just like, all right, let's just completely do a 180 on them and just completely go the other way. We'll see. That's a big one. That's a bigger game for Oklahoma than South Carolina from the standpoint of Oklahoma's playing for more. I mean, South Carolina's not playing for a playoff. Let's be. I know you want to keep the hope alive, but let's be honest. Let's be honest. They're not. You're not navigating, this Oklahoma game, Bama at Ole Miss, at Texas A&M, Clemson to close the year. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. So This game for Oklahoma, everything's still in front of you. But if you lose to South Carolina, all them dreams come crashing down essentially because you're not going undefeated the rest of the way either. So, anyways, it's going to be a fun week 8, guys. Let us know your thoughts, your predictions, your picks. You agree with us, you disagree. Hey, who's going to have a better week? Me or the Bear? You let us know your thoughts in the comments. Bear, good stuff today. Good stuff. Let's see. Let's get into a few comments here before we get out of here. KD says Oklahoma is going to mollywop South Carolina. Double-digit sacks in the ballgame. Double digits might be a little aggressive, but I get your sentiment, and you may not be wrong.
Here's what I will say. I'm not going to react to it because if he used the best word in the English language so far, which is mollywop. So
he actually says mollywhoop.
Exactly. So are you trying to be Texas A&M mixed in with Cole Thompson? Because that's not a good formula in my opinion. But no, I mean, like there's a scenario I could see it. They have the best defensive line in college football for my money. They didn't show up they still showed up when it came to the tackles for losses last week against Texas. So if you get Matt Fuller and you get Rasul Faison and you're able to take away Oscar Attaway and you get some screens to Van Jacobs and they're all for negative yardage, yeah, I could see that happening. I could see a double-digit win for Oklahoma. I also know that Willie B is not a place where you just figure it out offensively, and it never will be. So you're writing your own death certificate if you think that this is where the offense comes to life. Like, this is going to be one of those games where, again, defensively, you will have to go ahead and rely heavily on Brent Venables' squad.
Our guy Anthony says, Chris, if LSU wins Saturday, we need to see you in the post-game show with Blake. Maybe I'll hop on and eat some crow after the game. Maybe so.
Is he going to let you on?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I just kind of invited myself. That's a really good point. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll have to submit a request, I suppose. He also says they're not going to let you live that down. Going to make for an interesting weekend next weekend in the Red Stick. Yeah, they'll get over it. Just like every other fan. All these other fan bases, they'll get over it. They'll get over it. Manny says, y'all know my take, the ass-kicking chickens till I die. So, hey, if there's one guarantee in South Carolina, Oklahoma, those Gamecock fans are going to show up raucous, ready for a party. They're going to be loud. You never have to doubt that. You never have to question what the atmosphere is going to be like in Columbia. That's the one thing you can say. So,
Manny, we have to say it right together. It's the ass-kicking war chickens, okay? Just remember, it's the war chickens. That's why we call them Gamecocks. It's the plural of what the word is. That's how I came up with it. That way I wasn't going to get sued, and I could put that on a T-shirt one day, and people would buy it, and it'd be awesome. But no, it's the war chickens. And I'm rocking with them. I am.
Riley, I think Bear, who's the QB1 at Ole Miss next year?
Does he have another year of eligibility? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, I don't know.
If he does, then Trinidad. I mean, it's Trinidad's job until he gives it up.
Yeah.
Now, here's the funny thing. Is there a scenario where you see Austin Simmons coming in like he did last season and being the reason why it re-sparks a jolt for Ole Miss's offense?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, I just know this: if I'm Austin Simmons and I go into next year and Chambliss is back as a starter, I'm transferring.
Of course, you are.
I'm not sitting the bench. Yeah, that's just the way the game works now in college football, and I wouldn't blame him at all for hitting the road. So
no, I think you have to at this point.
Yeah. Bear, that being said, let's put a pin in it, man. Good show today. Good stuff. Week number 8 is officially here, guys. We got a jam-packed weekend. This is just the beginning. Content bleeding out of the eyeballs. We're actually about to drop a great conversation I had with Will Byron with the Door Report in studio. So you check that out. Bear's got his tier rankings upcoming. We've got all kinds of other stuff as well. SEC happy hour, I'm assuming, Bear. You'll rock on the Instagram tomorrow night. We got live reactions all the weekend.
Yeah,
Sunday fun. Yeah, Sunday fun day we'll do on Sunday night per usual, reacting to everything. Again, guys, and then, of course, the SEC Unfiltered Tour right here in Nashville, Tennessee. We've got our first round of merchandise on hand. So, Vandy, LSU fans, we've got the SEC Unfiltered Block SECU logo in purple and gold and black and gold. We've also got the SECU hat, not this one, but the natural top, blue bill, blue SECU across, the one you've seen me wear essentially every single tour stop and almost every single day, it seems like, throughout the season. That hat will be available. Picking up that merch tomorrow. Again, it's going to be an electric weekend, guys. Selfishly, I'm so excited to be doing this here in my home base, if you will, home city. I know there's going to be a lot of LSU folks taking over the city, a lot of great Vandy folks as well. And again, we're excited, guys. We're excited. We can't say thank you enough for the love, for the support. It means the absolute world. So, with that being said, the Overtime Drive signing off, guys. In the meantime, make sure you do us a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube. We're on that race to 30,000 subs. We can't do it without your love and support. Also, make sure you check us out wherever you get your podcasts, all your favorite social media platforms, as well as our website, secunfiltered.com. For Cole the Bear Thompson, I'm Chris Phillips. This is the Overtime Drive, SEC Unfiltered's SEC football show, the best SEC football show on the internet. Stay tuned to all the content throughout the weekend. We'll see you on Sunday for Sunday Fun Day. Have a great week 8. We'll talk to you on the other side. Cheers.